Did you get the bike repaired before inviting Dan to do his dipping?
No, but he agreed to do the repairs that were on it.
I suspect, sir, you may be right, and that there may be mistakes here on both sides. However, in order to determine that, part of the way I'd come to a final view in law would be to get the assistance and advice of an expert. To that extent, can I ask James to be brought in? Thank you very much. You visited Dan's garage.
Yeah.
Were you recommended?
I was.
And the person who recommended you was very satisfied with the work that had been done on his bike or knew of other satisfied customers?
More so, I'd been told that where Dan's place was, not that they'd had work done or knew anyone that had work done. So I just heard about him and went there to see him.
Now, I've got James in court.
You have.
Thank you very much for coming, James. James, you have a wealth of experience. How many hydro dips have you done on bikes?
Probably hundreds on bikes and thousands of bike parts.
Now, Gavin, tell me exactly the issue on the bike before you ended up at Dan's place for hydro dipping.
There was a small crack on the front, a few scrapes, and there was a scrape on the back, and the one panel that was mainly damaged on the side, this side, I'd bought a replacement panel.
Can you place an image on a damaged panel?
No.
Why not?
Because there's a lot of prep work before you can even get to the process of dipping.
We're all agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
It has to be immaculate.
Has to be
Otherwise,
perfect.
it has to be what?
Perfect.
Understood. Otherwise, you're going to have an imperfection in the general finish.
Yes.
Now, at some point, you have a discussion, Gavin, with Dan. Now, I'd like you to tell me in your exact words, having taken the bike in, what you agreed that Dan would do to your bike. Leaving aside the dipping, list it for me.
Repair the crack on the front, repair where the handles were, fill in them holes, and a small scrape that was on the back, and any other small imperfections that were on the bike.
Do you agree with what Gavin has just said in terms of the work that you were due to carry out before the dipping was to take place?
No.
You don't?
He's obviously dropped the bike on the left-hand side because even the wing mirror is still scratched from where he's dropped it.
That's the side that the bike went down on. Though.
Yeah. So obviously you've got something called gravel rash on the plastic.
What is hang on a second. I've got gravel rash.
Gravel rash.
I don't understand. What do you do? Do you lift up the front and put cream on it?
So the gravel rash is obviously where he's come off the bike, dropped it, and it's scraped down on the road. That's why they call it gravel rash.
Understood. Do you accept that those three things were brought to your attention and were things that you had agreed to deal with before the dipping process?
Yes, he brought to my attention, but there were 7 things. They weren't 3 things.
Okay, but they still need repairing them.
Be quiet. What were the other 4 things?
So there was the crack on the nose cone. There was a crack on the side, 2 side pieces, the gravel rash on one side, and then 3 holes on the back.
Thank you, sir. Those extra things, do you agree?
Yes, I do actually, yes.
Now, in terms of the dipping, what pattern did you want on it?
That's the correct pattern, yeah. It is the correct pattern, which is called carbon fibre effect, yeah.
How much is that worth?
About £2,000.
Right, but when you bought it, it was substantially more.
Yeah.
I presume that there is somewhere a little piece of paper where you have written down, perhaps in a pad, perhaps in a notebook of some description, saying, these are the problems with the bike, I will do the dipping, I will prepare the bodywork, it is going to cost this much, and my estimate is it will take this number of days. Where is that piece of paper?
There was none.
Now, you claim that he said he would do all of this work, the dipping and the repairs, for how much?
4, but then when I got there, he went, oh, I didn't know there was the tank, so it'll be 5.
£500?
Correct.
Do you accept that at the time, listen to me, the time you accepted the bike, you assessed it, or roughly you took the view that between £400 and £500 was about right?
No.
You don't accept that?
That's a lie.
Be quiet. How much do you say?
I said to him it would be £400-500 for materials, and I want the same to do the bike.
You want the same to do the bike?
Like the same amount to do the dipping as well.
Liar. I would never have agreed for the bike to go anywhere near him for that cost, because I don't feel that I'd put that amount of money into the bike.
Would be odd, wouldn't it, sir?
Yes.
Bearing in mind you've got a bike that's only worth about £2,000.
Why would I spend £1,000 on it?
A good question. Difficulty, sir. You've got nothing in writing. Let's ask James. roughly speaking, I were to bring that bike into you, you've seen the state, you've seen the pictures of it. Gavin's claim is that the cost of the work would be between £400 to £500. Does that sound like a reasonable sum, including labour?
That sounds like it would just about cover the material cost alone.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting indeed.
I wasn't told. He didn't say to me it's that much for the materials. When you go somewhere as well, I don't believe that you get a quote because that's what it's going to cost me to make it, but then I want that much on top as well. They're not going to clearly mark out to you how much they're charging you to just do it for you.
You were never informed, notified or told in any way that it was going to be closer to 1,000?
No, never.
And had you been adequately informed, you never would have proceeded?
Never would have proceeded, no.
You've got nothing in writing.
But
So how do I know?
I wouldn't have done the bike for. I wouldn't have done the bike.
Be quiet.
I wouldn't have done the bike for like the expert said for the cost.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.